So we're sitting in an appropriate posture. One in which there is a balance between effort and relaxation. Sitting straight without leaning on anything, but without tensing the body, and a firm, solid posture, one which has that balance. It's one that promotes feeling of self-reliance, self-confidence. It is in itself a lesson in the ways in which the body, the postures of the body, affect the mind and mental states. And to keep the body as still as possible. The practice of meditation can compare to a journey of exploration. But as with all journeys, the first few steps are the most important. The attitude with which you approach this practice, this journey. If you have the wrong motivation or mistaken ideas about meditation, then fluency in technique will not be sufficient. The practice of meditation, bhavana, is one of letting go of the unnecessary, of the trivial, of the harmful. It is giving up addictions. External addictions are the product of internal addictions. And the way to deal with addiction is to recognize it and to give the mind a superior alternative. So our addiction is to thought, memory, imagination, feelings, all the normal and natural parts of being a human being. But through our unwise attitude towards them, not understanding them, we grasp onto them very tightly and they cause us suffering. So to deal with this ignorance and attachment, we need to strengthen certain mental qualities within the mind. To begin with, we need to be able to lengthen our attention span. These days, through the particular nature of modern life, distractions have multiplied and attention spans have shrunk. So we have to put in some hard work to reverse that process, because only when we can sustain attention in the present moment and protect the mind from its habits of attachment, only when we can really experience the present moment, can we begin to understand the nature of our life and to create true inner quality, peace and wisdom. If we start meditation with the goal too much in our minds, it will have a negative effect. We don't know what peace is. We have an idea of it. So if you start off wanting to make your mind peaceful, then you've already taken a wrong turning. So whether we're meditating or performing any kind of activity in life, the wise person puts the emphasis, the effort on the quality of the cause, rather than obsessing on the results. So it's not that we are being mindful, aware of our breath in order to realize something. Our intention should be to be as mindful, awake and aware of every single breath as we can. When we put our attention on the effort, on the quality of effort, then the results will come by themselves. Mindfulness is the essential quality. We are seeking to develop a whole new relationship to our life. We begin to model this relationship to our life in these special periods of sitting in a certain way with our eyes closed. By developing a new and wiser relationship to present experience. And that is something that we can then begin to integrate into other areas of our life. To begin with, need to have a sense of interest and enthusiasm for the meditation process. If you lack that, then the meditation will not be successful, even if you know all the meditation techniques, skillful means. got to be an interest in waking up to your life, to being more awake and aware, to be free of old habits, impulses, emotions, not to escape from them, but to be free of attachment to them. At the beginning of a meditation, if you feel uninspired, bored, uninterested, then that is your first challenge, to deal with that disinterest or negativity. Because if you start to apply meditation techniques with a negative attitude, then you'll get more and more frustrated. So at the beginning of a meditation, you may need to spend just a few minutes, even just talking to yourself, as revising the value of a trained, disciplined, powerful mind, and that never-ending suffering and dis-ease and discontent that comes from a weak, impulsive, untrained mind. As a warm-up exercise for mindfulness, at the beginning of the meditation, you may do the sweeping practice that I taught last night. That means to systematically be aware of the sensations in the physical body, beginning with the top of the head and moving down through the face, the neck, shoulders, arms, hands, fingers, chest, tummy, back, bottom, legs, knees, ankles, feet, toes. So being very systematic and doing it the same way, in the same order, every time you do it. Although most people live their lives like servants of their bodies and the needs of their bodies, it's surprising how out of touch we are with the nature of our body as it truly exists in the present moment. We can do this sweeping more slowly, more quickly. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Depends on what suits us. But having completed the sweeping practice, we simply rest in that awake, aware clarity of mind with the sensation of the breath, the in-breath and the out-breath. These are not things we are doing. There's not somebody breathing in, somebody breathing out. These are natural phenomena. Even when you're fast asleep, you have no self-awareness at all. You breathe just in the same way. So bringing your mind to the breath is bringing your mind to part of nature. And so we use the breath as a means of sustaining attention, of lengthening the attention span, of training our mind to let go of memory and imagination. So the breath provides an anchor for the mind. The mind wants to indulge in memory, wants to enjoy fantasy, imagination. When we realize, we just firmly, calmly and gently put down that thought, that fantasy, that imagination, and return to the simple sensation of the breath. It's important to observe the sense of ease and happiness of a mind which is in the present moment. Because when you can see that clearly, the meditation will become easier for you. You can see very clearly that you experience happiness and ease the moment you let go of attachments, thoughts, moods and emotions. After you have swept through the body, done the initial warm-up exercise of acknowledging sensations throughout the body, from the head down to the feet, then simply being aware of the in-breath and the out-breath. When you're breathing in, you know you're breathing in. When you're breathing out, you know you're breathing out. Very simple principle. When you start to feel some continuity of mindfulness, the mind not getting distracted quite so easily, interest in the practice of meditation, then you choose one particular point in the body. This will usually be at the tip of the nose, but wherever you can observe the sensation of the breath most comfortably, where you can feel the breath most clearly, and you focus your attention on that one spot, that one place. Now this is your challenge, to sustain a sense of wakefulness, clarity, sharpness of mind, wakefulness of mind, with that sensation of breath as your anchor in the real world. Not allowing your mind to wander off, take pleasure or obsess with things that happened in the past or things that may or may not occur in the future. This This means being willing to be alive, awake to the real world. Everything else except what is happening right now is memory and imagination. Now if you concentrate too much, you try too hard, that won't have good result. You get too tense. Maybe you'll feel headache or constriction in your chest. In that case you need to relax a little bit. If you become too relaxed, you can drift off into dull, dreamy, sleepy state. And in that case you need to put more effort. So this is also a basic life skill that we are developing in meditation, the ability to put forth effort and the optimum amount. Learning how to adjust, learning how to tweak our effort. As it becomes a little bit too tight, we loosen. Too loosen, we tighten. It's like tuning a musical instrument. If you find it very difficult to be with the breath, with a simple sensation of the in-breath and the out-breath, cannot sustain attention very well, then there are various techniques to assist us in the beginning. One is to count the breaths. And the method is on the in-breath, you count 1, on the out-breath 1, then in-breath 2, out-breath 2, in-breath 3, out-breath 3, in-breath 4, out-breath 4, in-breath 5, out-breath 5, and then begin again counting 1, 1, 2, 2, until you reach 6, 6, and then begin again, and count 1 to 7, begin again, count 1 to 8, then count 1 to 9, and then count 1 to 10. So that's one cycle, and that becomes your objective, your goal, to sustain attention for one cycle without being distracted. To count from 1 to 5, and then 1 to 6, 1 to 7, 1 to 8, 1 to 9, and 1 to 10. This counting is good practice in the beginning, but as the mind becomes calmer, brighter, as it becomes easier to sustain attention, then you can leave the breathing, counting of the breathing, and merely be aware of the sensation of the breath. So trying to wake up to your life, you are going against the grain. having to abandon many old habits, a life of distraction, a life of letting the mind wander where it wants to go without any education, training, discipline is the norm. It's completely normal in the culture in which we live, even more so in the Western world. So this is a difficult task, but one which has true and lasting benefits. In the beginning, you need to be very patient, resilient, humble. When your mind starts to wander, you get sleepy, you realize, start again, make a fresh start. Just keep coming back to this simple practice of being awake and aware in the present moment, using the sensation of the in-breath and the out-breath as an anchor to the present moment, an anchor to the way things are right now.